Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in to Relevant Jukebox, and today we're going to talk about the new Nicolas Jaar album, Cenizas. So Nick has been pretty busy so far in 2020, as this is his second album that he's dropped. He put out a pretty fantastic release earlier this year under the Against All Logic name, 2017 through 2019. I highly suggest seeking that one out. It's one of my favorites of the year so far. In comparison to that record though, Cenizas is not a left field exercise in dance music. Instead, this is similar to other albums that he's released under his own name, being more like an abstract ambient project, which is also pretty avant-garde in its nature. This album is actually a lot to take in. For one, time and structure seems to have no boundaries on here, as things sort of just happen at their own pace on these tracks. We also get some singing on here from Nick, which is pretty stark and actually comes off a little bit awkward at times, like on the title track, how he sounds so much larger than life and swallows up all the instrumentation in the mix. Thankfully though, he does most of the storytelling on this album with the music. He uses a wide range of sounds and instruments on here too to cast out this vibe of isolation, which is also strongly reinforced in a lot of the melodies on here, like the track Garden, for example. And if you are a patient listener, I do think this album will be rewarding, but if you're not, then you're gonna probably jump out of this thing pretty quick, because this album sounds like it was made by an alien that got trapped inside of a high school music room with a bunch of instruments to play around with. Just listen to the track Goche and you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, even though this record does operate on its own terms, seemingly, there was a pretty big standout on here for me with the track Mud. The vibe of this track reminds me a little bit of like Dirty Beaches, but a little bit drier. There's a really potent feeling of tension on this track that's cast out that almost serves as like a rite of passage for the listener as you travel into the second half of this album, which does become a little bit more strange and varied. Take the track Sunder, for example, which kind of sounds like you're being sucked into an alternate dimension. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed this album, and if you're really into avant-garde music, I'd highly suggest seeking this thing out, but definitely be patient with it because it might not hit you on the first run through. And with that being said, I'm feeling an 8 over here on Cenizas. I headed over to Nicolas Jaar's record label's website, Other People, and there is no vinyl release of this just yet. But if you listen to this new Nicolas Jaar project, what did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you for watching. If you like this video, drop a like and share. And if you want more content from me, hit that subscribe button. Peace.